In a shocking turn of events, Sheikh Jassim bin Hamad Al Thani withdraws his 10 billion bid to buy Manchester United in 2025. In one of the most dramatic moments in modern football business history, Qatari billionaire Sheikh Jassim bin Hamad Al Thani has officially withdrawn his record-shattering 10 billion bid to acquire Manchester United. The move, which stunned fans and pundits alike, comes after months of negotiations, media speculation, and heated debates within the global football community. The withdrawal marks a significant turning point in the ongoing saga surrounding the ownership of one of the world's most iconic football clubs. Manchester United, a club with a rich heritage and a global fan base numbering in the hundreds of millions, has been at the center of takeover rumors and financial turbulence for over a decade. The club has been owned by the Glazer family since 2005, a tenure marked by considerable controversy, fan protests, and a perceived disconnect between the club's traditions and its commercial operations. Sheikh Jassim bin Hamad Al Thani, a member of the Qatari royal family and chairman of Qatar Islamic Bank (QIB), emerged in 2023 as a formidable contender to purchase the club. His vision for Manchester United was ambitious: debt-free ownership, a rejuvenation of Old Trafford and Carrington facilities, and the promise to restore the club's dominance in both domestic and European football. His 10 billion bid was not only one of the highest ever for a sports franchise, but it also represented an all-cash offer with immediate infrastructure investment. Many saw it as the ideal solution to the club's woes. Fans hoped that under Sheikh Jassim's stewardship, United could return to its glory days, free from the financial burdens imposed during the Glazer era. The collapse of a mega deal. Despite months of intense negotiation and multiple rounds of offers, Sheikh Jassim's camp faced persistent hurdles. Insiders suggest that the Glazers, particularly Joel and Avram Glazer, were reluctant to relinquish total control of the club. While other parties, like British billionaire Sir Jim Ratcliffe and his Ineos group, proposed deals involving partial stakes and long-term transitions of power, Sheikh Jassim's offer was an outright takeover. This stark difference in deal structure created friction that proved difficult to resolve. Complicating matters further were questions about financial transparency, control over commercial rights, and long-term strategic direction. According to sources close to the deal, Sheikh Jassim's team grew increasingly frustrated with what they perceived as stalling tactics and lack of consensus among the Glazer siblings. On May 13, 2025, the official announcement came: Sheikh Jassim was walking away. The news hit the Manchester United fan base like a thunderbolt. For many, Sheikh Jassim's bid represented not just a financial injection, but a cultural reset, an opportunity to realign the club's priorities with its footballing roots. Social media erupted with emotional reactions, from heartbreak and anger to renewed protests calling for the Glazers to sell. Supporters groups, such as the 1958 and the Manchester United Supporters Trust Must, issued statements expressing their disappointment and demanding transparency from the club's current owners. This was the cleanest path toward rejuvenating Manchester United, said a Must spokesperson. To see this opportunity vanish, due to what appears to be internal boardroom disagreements, is both disheartening and infuriating. The withdrawal of Sheikh Jassim's bid leaves a gaping hole in the club's future planning. With no other all-in buyer currently at the table, attention turns once again to Sir Jim Ratcliffe, whose partial acquisition plan, reportedly involving a 25% stake and eventual full takeover, remains a possibility. However, that plan is far more incremental and does not offer the immediate capital influx that Jassim promised. Meanwhile, the Glazers remain in control, and questions about investment in the squad, stadium upgrades, and managerial stability loom large. With the 2025-26 season on the horizon, Fans are growing increasingly restless, fearful that United could fall further behind rivals like Manchester City, Liverpool, and Arsenal, who have made bold moves in the transfer and infrastructure markets. Sheikh Jassim's failed bid also underscores the evolving nature of football ownership. As sovereign wealth, billionaires, and private equity firms continue to circle the elite clubs of Europe, the battle for control of football's crown jewels has never been fiercer or more complex. This saga may serve as a cautionary tale. Even with unprecedented financial offers on the table, cultural, strategic, and emotional factors can derail negotiations. Football clubs, particularly those with the history and global pull of Manchester United, are not just business assets, they are institutions woven deeply into the identities of their fans. As of now, Sheikh Jassim bin Hamad Al Thani's vision for Manchester United will remain unfulfilled, a tantalizing what-if for a club in desperate need of rejuvenation. Whether the Glazers will eventually sell, whether Sir Jim Ratcliffe steps into the void, or whether a new contender emerges, one thing is clear: Manchester United's future remains as uncertain as ever. For now, the Red Devils must press on, bruised by boardroom battles, buoyed by their resilient fan base, and waiting, once more, for a savior to lead them back to the summit of world football. In a seismic turn of events that has left Manchester United fans reeling, Qatari billionaire Sheikh Jassim bin Hamad Al Thani has officially withdrawn his monumental $10 billion bid to acquire the iconic football club. The stunning collapse of what many believed was a game-changing deal comes after months of tense negotiations, growing optimism, and fervent anticipation from supporters desperate for change. Sheikh Jassim's offer wasn't just about ownership, it was about transformation. His plan promised to wipe out the club's towering debts, invest heavily in infrastructure with a proposed full-scale renovation of Old Trafford, and restore Manchester United to the summit of world football. For a fan base that has grown increasingly disillusioned with the Glazer family's ownership, Jassim's proposal offered a long-awaited lifeline. But that vision is now in tatters. Sources close to the negotiations say the Glazer family's unwillingness to relinquish full control of the club ultimately scuttled the deal. Despite the vast financial incentives and sweeping promises of revival, the American owners reportedly sought to retain a minority stake, an arrangement Sheikh Jassim flatly rejected. The fallout has been swift and intense. Social media has exploded with frustration, with hashtags like Glazers out and United for sale trending worldwide. Outside Old Trafford, spontaneous protests have reignited, with fans waving banners and chanting for the Glazers to sell the club entirely. Longtime supporter and former player Gary Neville voiced what many are thinking, stating, "This is a monumental failure of leadership. The Glazers are playing with the future of Manchester United, and the fans deserve so much better." With Sheikh Jassim's bid off the table, the future of Manchester United is mired in uncertainty. While British billionaire Sir Jim Ratcliffe remains a name in the running, his partial acquisition plan has failed to ignite the same enthusiasm among supporters. Unlike Jassim's all-in offer, Ratcliffe is rumored to be eyeing a phased takeover, leaving the Glazers with influence for years to come. The big question now: can anyone rescue Manchester United from this quagmire? Insiders close to the failed negotiations describe months of back and forth marked by shifting goalposts and growing mistrust. One source claimed, Sheikh Jassim was ready to go all in. He wanted to return United to greatness. But it became clear the Glazers were never truly ready to walk away. Another insider hinted that the Qatari group may not be completely out of the picture, suggesting they could revisit the table under drastically different terms, though that appears unlikely in the near term. This latest chapter in Manchester United's ownership saga adds yet another layer of uncertainty to a club that once defined dominance and ambition. With managerial questions, inconsistent performances on the pitch, and growing disconnect between ownership and the fan base, the Red Devils find themselves at a crossroads. Will new bidders emerge from the shadows? Will fan pressure finally force the Glazers to sell, or is this just another false dawn in the long-running drama that has come to define Manchester United off the pitch?